14 handicap on a follow-up lesson initially regarding the swing plane. And looking it over, we'll get a path line up and we'll just confirm that you have made a nice change and we can move on to what you'd like to start working on moving forward. And yes, just again, initially the club head stays a bit to the inside of the plane, hands working nicely inside as well. The top doesn't get overextended, overhinged, and that trail elbow stays at a parallel to the ground position at your top. Even shallowing out and dropping down nicely as you transition from the back to downswing. So good mechanics, good inside to out plane, and you've achieved what we worked on last time. What I did notice throughout the swing is the general instability in your lower body. And lots of moving parts, lots of moving joints going on from the waist down. So if we look at setup, I'd probably like to start you with a little bit more knee flex, because when you're making this transition move, your left knee flexes a ton, that right knee straightens right up. That helps open up your hips, but with all of that movement, there's really not a lot of pressure on the instep of your trail foot. All the weight looks to be on that left side, and then you sort of lose balance and spin out of that trail foot. We'll get a better look from the face-on view, which we can jump over to right now. Weak-ish grip and very narrow stance doesn't help with your balance and stability. So step one, get wider. I don't want to change your grip or mess with too much of that because you didn't state much directional issue, but if we try to watch again just what's going on with the lower body, we'll try to zoom in a bit more and be more focused down here because the upper body mechanics do look good and they are pretty sound. I'll give it the space it needs though. So we stay pretty centered off the ball. Initially the movements don't look bad. Left knee flexes down and in, right knee straightens away. Lots of good tilt, and upper body, like I said, looks solid. But as you transition, try to get some of the weight moving from what is stuck on the back foot. It instead spins out that trail foot, doesn't provide any power to your downswing, and then all of the power you have is what you can hammer from the upper body down to the ball from right here. So the idea here is you have to instead actually get some pressure, get some weight to get to your trail instep at the top of your swing to be able to push off of something and get going more laterally towards target as opposed to spinning out in the opposite direction. That weight being just a bit on your right toe and that right heel spinning off, like I said, might open up your hips, but it doesn't do it with any speed or power delivery. The toe does get lifted, but like I said, doesn't really add to the kinetic chain too much. So the call to action here is we get wider on the stance. That could help just in and of itself, but as you're turning to your top, try to keep the weight on your instep of the right foot. Doesn't mean sway your hips and slide off the ball. It just means get some weight on the instep of your right foot and then try to use that weight on the instep of your right foot to push and drive your hips just a bit first from the top. Get your weight moving forward in the right way, and I think you'll maintain even better balance more consistently through your swing. But overall, I think you're taking the right approach to changing your golf swing. Taking things very analytically and slowly working on piece by piece is the way to go. So not going to overload you with information. Get on your right side, get moving, and probably extending down and through that ball a bit more. Get your hands to be a little bit more forward through strike. Taken away from some of that flippiness in the hands could be a grip issue as well. But I think you're, like I said, on the right track. Good luck. Sendaswing.com.